Hey everybody, welcome back to Good Morning Florida Keys. Okay, if you've been at any of the past Relay for Life events this past month, you've definitely become familiar with our next guest this morning. It's Jeannie Sealander and Mo gracing us with their presence today. And you guys are everywhere, Jeannie.
We are. Thank you for having us join you today.
Thanks for being on the show.
Jean, it's great to have you here on a Friday morning. I mean, and look at
you.
Mo. He's all
So
ready for
content.
Friday. I mean, it's TGIF for
He's
him,
as
right?
excited as a sloth can be.
Tom, here, Mo can be your date for the weekend.
I
okay?
needed one, you know, and he would be perfect. You know, no problem, and not an expensive date. And
No,
hey,
it'd be a very
eats lots
cheap
of fruit,
date.
right?
Yes, yes, and as long as you like to be smothered and cuddled, no problem.
Now,
Who doesn't?
Mo, the past times that I've followed you, Jeannie, I've seen you here 2 times this past month with Mo, and Mo is always cuddled on you. I mean, is that just how Mo always is with you, or you guys, you're like attached?
Yeah, this is how he is.
They're an item.
When I take him somewhere, this is how he holds on, because normally he would hold on to a tree. So me in my brown uniform, I'm the tree.
Okay, okay. And now Mo's the only sloth that I've ever met. Could you give us a little background on sloth?
Well,
Because
sloths
I don't know
they're
much.
native to Central and South America. You see them a lot in Costa Rica if you go to the rainforest there. And this is a two-toed sloth because he has 2 big toenails on his front feet. Now his back feet have 3. So people get confused because there is also a 3-toed sloth, but they have 3 toes on the front
Where
and
are
on
the
the back.
3-toed sloths?
They're also in Costa Rica and
Oh,
Central and
they-
South
so they-
America. Their
same
diet
area.
is very specific, and they haven't been able to replicate their diet in captivity, so they don't keep them in captivity.
Oh.
Down in the sanctuaries that they rehabilitate them and take care of them in Costa Rica, they have lots of 3-toads, but they have the special leaves from the trees that they eat that they can get right there. But as far as in the United States, bringing them to the zoos or having them as pets, this is the one that you would find as a pet, the 2-toed.
The 2-toed. And they eat fruit?
He eats fruit and vegetables. His favorite thing would be apricots and corn on the cob. He loves corn on the cob. Yes.
Really?
And he eats it just like a person. He holds it with both hands or both feet and eats it, twirls it around and eats it from one end to the other.
I'd love to see a photo of that.
It's
Now, on the
interesting.
Conch hotline, I heard that Mo has a girlfriend. Is
Mo
that true?
does. Mo has a
Really?
girlfriend. Her name is
See,
Maggie.
I hear everything.
You're definitely in the
everything.
know. Mo has a girlfriend named Maggie. Now, Maggie is not friendly like this. Mo was actually raised from a baby on a bottle, and Maggie was caught in the wild, and I think there was some abuse.
Are they friendly together, though?
They are. They like each other.
Are they going to mate?
And they have mated before,
Oh.
so we did have a baby, but the baby didn't survive. It's very, very hard to raise them in captivity. And so we were able to get the baby to be 10 months old, but then it passed. So usually if you can get them past a year, it was very much a surprise because we didn't even know she was pregnant. It doesn't show, you can't tell. And they think they're pregnant for 7 to 11 months, so there's really no definite information about it. It's very, very,
And
there's not a lot
what's
known.
the challenge about raising a baby in captivity?
I'm not exactly sure. It's just that it's hard to raise them in captivity. So a lot of zoos buy pairs of them specifically for them to breed, and they never breed. And I had 2 that I didn't even want them to breed because my policy at the farm is that we're not there to add to the problem. We're there to take animals that need a home.
Right.
So imagine my shock when Dr. Doug Mader is our vet, and when I got both sloths, I had started with the female, and then the people called me and said, now we want you to take the male too. So we took him, and I called Dr. Mader, and I said, all right, we need to fix him. And he said, okay, let me find out more about it. And he'd never fixed a sloth before. So by the time he figured it out, it was too late. I called him one day, and I said, I'm mad at you, but I have, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. And I came in one morning, and she had the baby.
So Mo's a little rascal,
Yes,
huh?
yes.
Mo's a rascal. And now, if we're to go down to the Sheriff's Animal Farm, where would we see Mo during the day? Where does Mo hang out?
He lives inside the aviary with all the parrots and the cockatoos.
And he literally hangs out.
He
doesn't
does. He hangs, and you'll see him either in his kennel, resting in the shade, or sometimes he'll move across back and forth the top bar of the aviary, or sometimes he'll be laying on the ground under some of the shrubbery. And it's really hard to see him. You have to know where he hangs out to find him, but it doesn't, sloths typically don't like to be on the ground. It's not safe for them in the wild to be on the ground. But since Mo was raised in captivity, I don't think he really knows that it's not safe, because I'll find him sitting on the ground quite frequently. But Maggie, who came from the wild, she doesn't like to sit on the ground, because she knows that the jaguars and the other predators are on the ground, you know.
Now, something interesting, when we were playing around before the show, Mo was hanging there and looking at us upside down.
Yes.
And you mentioned that his whole world is upside down. They always look at the world upside down.
Correct. So,
I mean, isn't that interesting?
So when I'm out and about at events and I'm holding him, he'll lay back and he looks at people upside down, because that's the way his brain processes the images. Now, the three-toed sloth has 2 extra vertebrae in their neck. These have 7. The three-toads have 9. So when the three-toed sloth wants to see something, it can actually turn its head all the way right side up.
Really?
But he can't do that, so he sees things better upside down.
Could you imagine if we all saw things upside down?
Well, I know a few people who may fit in that category.
But I think we all know
I'm not talking about any politicians.
We all know a few people who fit into that category. Okay, now you keep bringing up the 2 and 3 toes. Do they use these toes, Jeannie, in a bad way? Do they, you know, scratch?
They're really, they'll use them to groom themselves, but primarily they're for climbing and hanging in the trees. So that's why they're hooked like that.
But if you were to grab a wild one, would it just scratch you to
They
pieces?
can, their defense would be to try and, their arms are very, very strong, and they would try and slam the claws down, or they would try to bite. And they do have 1-inch long canine teeth that are very sharp. And for a long time, it wasn't exactly known why would an animal that is not a carnivore, that eats fruit, need teeth like that. But they found that they eat very hard, unripe fruit, like a mango. And an unripe mango is not the easiest thing to break open if you don't have strong teeth, so they'll use these teeth to help them cut through the hard mango.
So they evolved to eat mango.
Yep, and any kind of hard, unripe. They do like unripe fruit for some reason. So I always, when I was buying them fruit at the grocery store, I would always try to get the good ripe stuff.
Yeah, like
and then
the
when I
rest of
found
it,
out more, I would try to get the unripe stuff, and they actually prefer it. So it seems a little more bitter to me, but they like it.
They like it. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the
You're
show,
very
Jeannie, and for
welcome.
It's
bringing
always
Mo.
fascinating. I
Thank
mean,
you.
It is so
who can know enough about Mo? I mean, our sloth friend.
Yep.
Very friendly sloth. Okay, everybody, we've got to take a break right now, but stay with us. We'll be right back.